Hey, this is Formidian. This is part 2 of marketing a religion. A new religion. Yeah. There's some things you need to understand. The government already knows the history of every religion. They know the lies, and they know man's ability to reach for the impossible. Yeah, that's what fuels a religion. But the act of charity, just like a CC0, Creative Commons Zero status. You put out a non-profit for artwork and media, that's great. You want to put out a non-profit for a religion, that's great too. What message do you have to provide the people who follow you? And everything is about following. You know, how many emails you collect, how many subscribers you get on that site, how many people you have sitting in your congregation, how many people do you have there that you could market an idea, provide influence for what you want to get done. You know, it's about reach. Ooh. And a non-profit religion, in creating a new religion, do you have the power to provide a message to these people that accept a message of hope, perseverance past their flesh? All this has been created by people 2,000 years ago or more than that. The governments of the world accept all of this as some kind of understanding of humanity. Not that they were gatherers of secret information over the years. Yeah. The government of America maintains a logical standpoint. You know, where this came from, why it's here. But basically, it's what you're doing for America. There's non-profit 501c3 status for helping out the government, taking a burden off the government. That's all acceptable. If you want a non-profit organization to help out the government, you know, they will accept that. That's great. But the thing is, you know, I think, you know, you should start your own religion to compete with, you know, the Christ or the Mormon Christ or the Muslims or the Islamics or maybe an atheistic religion like Buddhism. Yeah. An atheistic non-profit religion? Does that have promise? Do you think you have enough followers that you can get them to, I don't know, practice some rituals? Whatever you want to set up. You know, I got some ideas. Whatever you got. You know, put our minds together. We'll come up with a non-profit religion to create. You know, I've stated in past videos that the Jedi religion was created in 2001. Yeah, that's great. That was nothing but a movement for an identity. No, you don't want that. Joel Osteen has a $10 million house. That's what you want. A $50 million religious organization of people who feed off of words of hope, where they are the chosen people, where they are the people who will receive some kind of benefit after death. Yeah, it's not about manipulating the families of the world. All of them can look all of this up on a computer today and find out exactly what they are following. The government understands this and understands that these people just like the idea of persevering past flesh. So, in marketing a new religion, that's all you have to create. Create an image of hope, unity, hope and unity, with a background story and plot, a little good guy, bad guy stuff. Yeah. And it should be, you know, a legacy to extend into the future, to compete with all the gods out there. I've heard the Muslims talk to the Christians in showing tolerance and balance to each other. This Muslim character wanted to portray that Muhammad was the last prophet. That was his emphasis. Muhammad was the last prophet. Yes, Jesus was, you know, to us, a prophet. You know, the Christians look at him as a god, but to the Muslims, to show tolerance, they said Jesus was at least a prophet. And their, you know, interjection of what you need to understand about us is that Muhammad was the last prophet. Anyway, you know, rags to riches in all words that are put out there. There are no prophets. You know, if you understand that this is just marketing an idea, whether you want to see it as reality or go into it as someone fully committed, engaging faith, you know, that's up to you. You know, this is just a proposal of a 501c3 nonprofit organization or a profit organization. Wounded Warrior Project. They got a bad rating because they are taking a lot of profits. Because they're supposed to be a non-profit donation group to the veterans. Yeah, I'm a veteran. I'm not wounded. But I understand what's going on with these non-profit organizations. Just like Joel Osteen in a $10 million house. This is the real world. About taking money. Setting yourself up in a position to have an image and identity in the world. All the lowly people, they talk about lowly things. Like you should represent us better. You should put out an image to be a leader for all of the religious people. But they're not the ones with 10 million in their pocket. So they don't see what Joel Osteen sees. Yeah. It's great he smiles, and he's called the smiling preacher. Great marketing. Yeah. Wonderful stuff. Even my sister calls Joel Osteen her counselor. She even said to me, "What, you don't believe in God?" I told her flat out, I don't need a God. I've never needed a God. Never needed salvation or some kind of promise of becoming more than what I am. No, I'm good with me. Yeah, this is a real world. You know, I got some bad habits, some beer and cigarettes. It's terrible stuff, yeah. But this is about you, what you want. Do you want what Joel Osteen has? His $10 million house. You want his $50 million organization. Like I said, you ain't blowing smoke up the government's ass. They know what religion is. In the depth of what the government analyzes and creates statistics for. Predictable social statistics in managing a society. Profiles of culture. The government handles all of that. I'm telling you. Because if I was the government, I would do the same thing. It's like profiling criminals that go back into crime. Or profiling children that are hard cases that will end up in crime. There's a guy next door that is visited by a social worker. Because he's in 7th grade. And he's a problem child. Nothing but swear words and sexual commentary out of this 7th grader. That's it. He's a hard case. I even had to tell him that he's not allowed in my house anymore. Offered him everything he wanted. Couldn't take his insults. Couldn't take his talk. I bought him the book, The Art of War. Wrote in it, apply it to psychology and problem solving. It'll help you out in the future. You will be a strategic animal, able to figure out problems and talk to people, ask the right questions, get the right answers. That's all I could do for the kid. I'm telling you. But about this religion, like I said, the Jedi religion 2001 UK, they're not doing nothing. That is nothing but a movement of superficial show and bravado in the world. Do you want to start a serious faith-focused religion? All it takes is perfect words of morality, because the people out here, they really think morality came from religion. Most people who know what is real? No. Morality came before religion. But the thing is, these people are so consumed by faith that they think they are the origin, the radiating point of culture, beginning. They adopt a chosen machination of what they are in the community to their people. That is just the psychology of a congregation. Do you see what I see? I'm not religious. No. If you watch all my videos, you'll find out what I am. Studied religion in my 20s, but I've already studied the book The Art of War, some psychology and problem solving before I engaged what religion's persuasiveness was. Okay? So I see clearly the mindset. So like I said, if you want to start a nonprofit 501c3, however you want it, it takes 3 people. You need at least 3 people by the IRS standards. Okay? There's a lot of sites that will charge you for the forms for a 501c3. Yeah. You get the forms for free anytime you want. You know, everyone's into the, I'll sell you this. I'll sound like an expert with this. Marketing saturation. But how many people are trying to sell a new God? People will follow. That is so obvious to the way I see the world. They will follow. If you could put the words together, and I could put the words together, people 2,000 years ago put these words together, and they're still here. It radiated into the Mormon Christ. Another break-off religion. They're small, but you can measure the spread of the Mormon religion. How they adopted some kind of antiquated language to make their religion more beneficial to people. A marketing scheme. They didn't speak in 18th century English or whatever it was they first published their book in. You know, if I'm confused on that, I understand the linguistic twist on how the Mormon book was published to manipulate, just like the King James Bible. Yeah, that was written there in a specific language that people appreciate, and people love the little nuances that show dedication to what they hold dear. It's not that I'm insensitive to a family's outlook of their own superiority. I'm a soldier, a veteran. I was married a couple times. You know, this is just a profile. If there is a actual offer, I haven't had any relationships with any type of intimate contact for at least 20 years. That's my choice. You know, I understand what a woman is, what she wants. In my late 20s, 20 years, I have no problem being who I am. The person walking the earth alone with an exit strategy. This is it. But that's just a little profile of me. You know, the things I don't need in my life, I got rid of. I like my time. I don't need someone telling me about their time clock and, you know, wanting to raise 5 to 10 children investing in a big house. No, I don't need that. I like being me. I've turned down women for 20 years now. One night stands, relationships, free sex, whatever it is. I have no room in how I see my life with them in it. I don't want to be the guy sitting at my desk working with my woman sitting on the couch watching TV, complaining that she's hungry and tired and it's hot, and we argue about money and sex, argue about farting in a confined space and having to smell each other. No, I don't need that. I don't need the intimacy, the encouragement, the benefit of a close contact to touch flesh. No! I'm beyond all of that. I'm telling you. I made that decision in my late 20s. What I need, what I'll manage, and what I want. So, it's good for all the families out there. I understand the family structure. And that's what religion is about. Most people who are religious, billions, financing a $1 billion industry. They are all family oriented. They want their kids, their children, to be molded by some special words that create a blur of the hardness of life. They don't want to tell their children how hard this life is. And I know how hard this life is. Or all of them would have looked up the truth of their religions. They need to placate the imagination as long as they can in fear of their own mortality. None of this is meant to be some kind of leverage over a population or community. No, this is just basic profiling of what I see, what I notice in the world. That's all it is. It's a social profile of a family readily accepting anything that enhances the survivability, lessening the mortality effect of being flesh. That is what a religion does. It comforts, it consoles, it offers promise. It creates a statistic of behavior that a government finds appealing. Whether it's charitable or just practicing public rituals to show their humility. There are a lot of people that stand on the ground of humility. Yeah, that's good. They're always trying to prove themselves like they're good little children to their father God, or their father who's still alive. Yeah. That's wonderful. They are family oriented and family generated to producing an effect that will make money for any